Hello, you're watching Avenue X, where a junkie on good storytelling shares their thoughts, knowledge, and occasional weird ideas on stories and how they're told. This is a combination video of two dramas that's being aired on the same platform, iQIYI. The first drama that has just wrapped is The Punishment 罚罪, which I've made a first impression video about. And then the second part of this video is talking about my halfway review of a 36 episode drama, still on air, 请君. 1,000 Years for You. First, let's talk about 罚罪, punishment. After watching the whole thing, I will give it a 1 gold mine. It hasn't fully achieved a 2 gold mine in my opinion. Pretty much it maintained the same level of storytelling and fitting my expectation as the first part when I made the first impression video. I just have a couple of more observations after I've watched the whole thing that I would like to share with you. The strongest reason I think still that sustained me through this drama and making me even anyway want to recommend this drama to my viewers would be Yang Youning's performance is really one of the best among his recent years' works that I can think of. Then let's talk about one thing that I only realized after I've watched the whole thing and let it simmer for a while. After thinking through it, I also think it's not intentional, but it just happened in that way. You see that actually very often happening in Chinese dramas and probably everywhere really in this world, which is there tends to still be a very fallback on way of writing female roles. Given that this is an anti-crime drama and the policemen and the crime bosses, they are mostly male. To start with, you have less women in the play. And all the female roles are used as tools to push the plot forward. Whether they are on the good side or the bad side, they all each function for one very singular purpose. Beyond that, you know nothing, nearly, about themselves as a person. Jin Yan, played by Gai Yuexi, is the female lead because she is working with our male lead all the time, so they always show up together, they are partners. She's the perfect sidekick. But when you think through everything she's done, there's probably only 1 or 2 moments in the whole drama where you feel a little bit of the weight, emotional energy of that character, and then she's a blur. And she is already the female character who's got most of the screen time on. Then you think about every other woman, the adopted mother of our male lead, a middle-aged woman at like 50s, 60s, and you've got a husband, right, most of your lifetime, who is a very shrewd and clever, intelligent, capable policeman, and you are a partner to him. To think that you'd be so naive, if you watch a drama, you'll know. Her ideas about the bad guys and who are the bad guys until the end. It can't be that dumb, basically. And then the actual birth mother of our male lead character, played by the very good actress Zhang Shan. Supposedly she's the ambitious politician who sacrifices everything of her private life for her political gain and climbing the ladder. But if you are an ambitious woman in that and you're so ruthless at getting power and you've gotten so successful to like the vice deputy mayor of the city, whatever, you'd think you'd be more, again, observant, calculative, shrewd, and more of a politician, politician. But she also is so just there to serve a couple of key points of the plot. In terms of her own capabilities, you just don't even get convinced that she can climb to that position if she's really like the way she is in the drama. And then the worst case is the woman who is Chang Zheng, male lead's ex-girlfriend. She's kind of like girlfriend slash ex-girlfriend. She's in that quantum zone, okay? And you never quite know exactly what she is throughout this drama to our male lead. It's just sad that she's the flattest character of a female role imaginable. Well-educated, pretty rich. And she's a lawyer, okay? She went through law school and she's doing well. So she has to be intelligent. You can't just be dumb and get through law school. It doesn't work like that. Yet, she's so dumb throughout the whole drama and naive to the point you can't believe that this can happen. And then her singular purpose really throughout the whole drama is to fill time when there needs to be a romantic line and then at the end do what she did and die and help the good guys get that crucial evidence. Come on, you're using her so much like disposable devices. And even with that, there's hardly any emotion throughout the drama because how she's written and represented that audiences can feel. I mean, if you compare that to Qiu Tao's role, where his undercover police eventually also sacrificed himself, their functions are similar, right? But definitely emotionally, with all the build-up and characterization, you're gonna feel so much more sympathy and whatever, emotional feeling with 秋涛 throat than 纪念. Basically, all the women in this drama are blurry and they're not humans. They're just tools. I'm not saying the male characters are much better written, like they're all golden three-dimensional roles. No, like the father gangster is just literally 种猪. I just want sons and grandsons, and that's all my living, existing goals. You cannot be more than two-dimensional than that. At least among the male characters, there are a couple of people you feel they're more interesting, layered, okay? Whereas all the girls are like, oh, the assassin. The pretty assassin definitely is just a weapon to kill people. She just stupidly follows whatever the master says, and she's kind of like in love with him. So sad. I don't think the script is intentional, but this type of things is very pervasive and hidden. Not gonna say it really impact much of the quality of the drama, but overall this is a watchable crime drama. You probably wouldn't feel you're very insulted on the intelligence level while you watch it, but then you wouldn't be very impressed either. Now, let's move on to the second part of this video, talking about Qingjun 1000 Years for You. This is a 36 episode drama that's currently still on air. As this video goes out, it should have aired into the 20s number episode. It is led by Ren Jialun and Li Qin, directed by Zheng Weiwen, written by 4 different scriptwriters. There is an original novel called 请君赐教, which supposedly this drama is based on, but this drama has adapted the original story to the level that you really can just consider them as individual stories, not really related. In terms of the story itself, it is set at Mingguo time. Our male lead character is a kind of sealed in a painting, put into a dormant state, ancient prince who was also a general, who's been there for 3,000 years, sleeping, and got woken up by the sudden intrusion of a Mingguo gangster group who entered this cave, this ancient tomb. The woman leading that group as the head of that stronghold in the mountains is played by Li Qin. And 3,000 years ago, there was a huge war between a human race and a Lingzu, like spiritual race, who look like human but they have magical power. The woman leader from the spiritual race kind of falls in love with the human prince, played by Ren Jialun. And then to save him, she gave him her yuan dan. Right? You watch a lot of xianxia, you know what that is. It's like the essence of her existence. To save him, but then she kind of like dies with quotation mark. Supposedly she can still come back. Then he gets woken up by the Mingguo girl who looks exactly like his dead 3,000 years ago dead lover. Hey, obviously, otherwise how are you gonna do this story? I've watched the first 18 episodes of this drama, and I do have to confess that there's a significant amount of speed through. I'll give it a 0.5 gold. Mine, it's still on the positive end, but barely. Let's do the usual thing, good and bad. First 6 episodes, I was able to watch it without really speeding. Afterwards, I start to get less patient, and around episode 10 something, I start to speed through a lot. So my opinion about this drama is, first impression, pretty watchable. As it goes on, it's like, yeah, but it starts to get less and less interesting. On the positive end of this drama, number 1, if you are a fan of either of the leads, Ren Jialun and Li Qin, this drama probably is easy for you to get in, because both of them act and perform in the way you expect they would be. Early parts is pretty easy to follow, and you are unlikely to speed through a lot. And the second positive but also problematic thing, I'm gonna also talk about it in the negative part, is both leads use their own voice. I would always encourage actors these days to do that, but there's a condition attached, which is you do it yourself, but you do it well, qualified as a proper actor or actress. So that will go into the negative parts of this video. Then, similar to that is, I will mention it in the positive and also in the negative end of this, is it looks like they did spend money on things. Certain sets, props, costumes, looks very good in terms of like being expensive and definitely cost money. But then, the result it presents falls into the negative parts of my video. So it's a weird situation. I'll try to make it not sound like a rant. I don't actually have that much against this drama. I just find it's rather bland. And mostly that is because the script is very average. On the negative end, number 1, it's very fake. That's overall how you would feel about this drama. When you look at the stronghold that the female lead leads in the mountain, supposedly they're super poor, they don't have money, right? They're running out of money. That's why she went out and trying to basically grab husbands from the town. If you actually look at the imagery of that place, it looks quite tidy, nicely designed. Everybody is dressed in like not shabby clothing. It's not dirt covered. It's not dilapidated, basically. So, does not make sense. Then the male lead where he has that shop, and then every other basically posh buildings you see, interiors where he shows up, whether it's a restaurant or hotel or whatever, it just looks so extravagantly pretty and large. Yeah. 民国. Even back then in the poshest place in China, it's hardly everywhere looks like that good, okay? So it has that fake look. It really just like screams, we are a drama. This is a set. There's a light, right? Faking daylight, whatever. It's just very staged. Second point probably will get me murdered. This is to do with Ren Jialun and Li Qing's acting. I mean, they didn't act too much below my expectation, but I think both of them could do better with what they've done previously. You've seen in other dramas. This is definitely not their roof, their ceiling level of acting, okay? This is get money, get paid, and get out type of drama for both of them. On Ren Jialun's end, this is not his fault, but his character looks too similar to every other characters he's been in, whether it's in the Minguo or period drama. At the beginning, the period drama look for a bit, and it's like totally copying 周生如故 exactly like that, like straight plucked out of the drama. And then when he is in the Minguo look, it's like other Minguo dramas he's been in, so alike. And even his facial expressions throughout the drama is just as every other characters he's done before. Then he used his own voice, didn't get dubbed by either Zhang Jie or Bian Jiang. The good thing about that is, this time, he improved a little bit as compared to One and Only, I think, or Forever and Ever, can't remember. Those two dramas are one, okay? This time he doesn't sign at the end of every freaking sentence, which is a good thing. In that drama, you'll hear him talk like, he starts with a ha, and he ends with a ha, pretty much everywhere, which is very annoying. In this drama, he doesn't do that anymore. He doesn't ha anymore, which is thankfully, I consider making his own voice much more endurable for me to hear. But then he tends to have problems with a line that is too long. When it's a shorter sentence, it sounds okay. When it's a longer sentence, you see he cannot quite work out the rhythm. Where you drag it longer, where you make it speak faster, where you put emphasis on the whole tonal flow as a normal person speaks, or as a really qualified actor speaks, you want to make your expression, right, come across to the audience's ear very easily. Your meaning, what your emotion is at the time, what your motivation is. And with his own voice speaking, it's very flat. He's like he's reading lines from a teleprompter, and it's pa 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 pa, evenly spaced out. As for Li Qing, I should think her problem is completely on the opposite side. Is she's trying too hard to act her role. The best roles she's done and still leaving the strongest impression would be her princess in Princess Agent. Her aura and her vibe is more suited to the type of pretty but cold undertone and having a lot of tragedy happen to her, but she's still very stubborn and strong. That kind of role suits her a lot. And this type of happy, over the top, socially very communicative girl just doesn't quite fit Li Qing, and she's trying so hard to play it. Also, she's trying to act the man woman, the tomboy, the male, masculine version of a woman because she's leading a group of gangsters and she needs to be on top. She's trying to act the leader all the time, and it doesn't come from a really sustainable and true place. And also with that is the way she speaks. She is the polar opposite to Ren Jialun, where she tries to emphasize every word too much. Her pronunciation and then her tone is very theatrical, as if I'm doing a monologue on stage, turn it up to 120%. So when you watch these two act, it's really funny. It's like teleprompter, theater. When they're talking to each other, cut back and forth of the dialogue. I haven't felt this weird for a long time. In a way, it becomes funny because that is too distracting. For me, probably if you don't understand Mandarin at all, it would work less effectively on you, but for me, it's a little bit hard. Then the other thing on the story level about this drama, I find it's not very attractive, is first you have like supporting roles that are annoying, not likable at all, and they take a lot of screen time. This is the common problem these days for Chinese dramas. I'm talking about this guy. You just don't want to see him, okay? He's annoying as a character. He's not in any way helping the story, and he shows up all the time and say, I want to get rid of you, just don't show up. Why are you here again? Then you can feel the writers don't really care about a very logical, smoothly worked out character development line and different people come together as a story. They don't really pay much attention of we're creating a coherent character. They are more focused on, we want this plot to happen. We want that big quarrel between them. However we can make that more exciting, we just make it. We don't care how you arrive there. We don't care about the process. We don't care how you make the characters consistent and make the story flow logical, and then making that thing happen organically. They just want it to happen, so they make it happen. Like they want the shot, basically, that looks good of the supporting role with a gun pointing at our male lead's head, and the male lead is like, we want that shot. The camera moving, slightly slow-mo, that sound effect, making him look cool for like, 10 seconds, and then, you know, he does something to make it irrelevant for the other person to challenge him without thinking about the logic. Where that scene is happening in the story, physically in that location, and how it arrives at there, and why it would even happen. Because you're clearly doing it for the camera. That we know in your story's illusion, there isn't a camera, okay? We are watching it. We don't need you as a character to be aware that you're showing it to the camera how cool you look like. You get the thing? But for this drama, okay, they don't care about that at all. They just want to make whatever pivotal moment we want to get on camera happen. How that happens does not matter. This drama has a lot of those moments, and once you link them together, it creates a very incoherent picture of all the roles. You don't know who they are. After I've watched 18 episodes, I still don't care about any of those characters' fate, and whatever happens to them, don't give a shit. What else can I say about this? Oh, there's another observation, since in the first part of this video, we've already talked about the whole gender thing when you realize what's going on. This drama also has a little bit at the beginning of it, which is because it's a female gangster leader who goes to the town and force a man to marry her. It very artificially flipped the gender role. So all the characters in this drama would use the words that's traditionally on women, on our male lead character, because now he is supposedly the concubine of their female lead. It's a fake way of basically saying girl power, because you're using the patriarchal society structure, pull it up, implant it on the other gender. The thing that's funny about that is because it's a fictional story of Mingguo, and you know in Mingguo, like this type of thing just doesn't really happen. Therefore, even though the female lead is acting as the jerk of the world, basically she's literally grabbing people, right, and force them to marry her, becoming her slave, essentially. Because it's a woman doing that, and you know it's fictional, and you know there's nothing in history that works like that. Therefore, audiences just look at it as comedy and fun. And that is the reaction of most of the people watching the drama. They just look at it as a comedy. So we let it slide like that. Just imagine, thought experiment, you switch the gender role. If in this story, it is the guy who goes down to the town as the leader of the gangsters and just grab one woman at his will and force her to marry him as the wife or concubine. Imagine how many hate comments and all kinds of criticism and probably public denunciation of this drama and characters and everybody involved in this project is gonna happen on the internet. But somehow like you switch the gender role and then it's just funny. Yeah, these things, yeah. When you see in dramas, you know, you stop and think and you're like, yeah, but that's I don't expect this type of drama to even think down that route. They probably are completely unaware of that. And that's what makes it interesting for you to observe. It happens in dramas like this, and then you see how general audience's responses, and then you stop and think and you find it's actually really weird and awful, but then it shows, you know, like really what is going on in this world. So in that respect, if you can see it from this drama, the drama has a little bit value for you, apart from entertainment. That will be the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I'm Alex. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.